Haven't done a talking video in a while, so I thought I would go ahead and do one today for my summer favorites. I actually had a spring favorites that I did a little bit late, so this is coming a little earlier than it would typically come. But I only have a few things to share, and I just wanted to talk to you guys again, so that's what I'm doing. This summer has been super hectic. I don't really necessarily feel like it like I used a lot of beauty products in general, just simply because I feel like I've just been so busy. I haven't really been focusing on that sort of thing. But I'm trying to prepare myself for fall. So I went ahead and went through all the things that I felt were absolutely necessary for the hot, humid summer that we have here in Memphis, and the things that I used repeatedly and constantly and to completion. And I'll share those with you now. I also thought I would share a couple of my favorite things that I've kind of spent my pastime doing this summer. I don't do a lot of going out and about. I tend to enjoy being at home, so I thought I would share with you maybe some of my favorite music and tell you a little bit about my TV favorites as well. Yeah. So the first thing I wanted to show you was a hairspray. I actually had a hairspray as my first item in my last video for my favorites, and it was the Sebastian Shaper Plus hairspray, which is ideal for, it's really ideal for humid environments and kind of making the hair, especially a set, feel very soft and kind of like where you can actually brush through it, but that the style still holds. And that is still my favorite hairspray currently. However, it's a bit pricey, and when I ran out of it, I typically like to get it on Amazon because it's a lot cheaper on Amazon to buy it in bulk, like 3 bottles at a time. And I wasn't in a position to do that right away, so I bought a drugstore hairspray that said it was brushable hold, and that was like $3. And it actually worked out really well. So I bought a second can today, and I thought I would go ahead and share that with you. It's the VO5 Hairspray Brush Out is what it's called. It's strong hold that you can brush through. Says it's crystal clear, 14-hour hold. For a cheap hairspray, it doesn't flake, and it does hold pretty well. It's not anything nearly as good as my Sebastian Shaper Plus, which I still feel like holds my set much better, but it definitely is better than any other drugstore hairspray I've tried. It's a very fine mist, so it's not something that you have to worry about feeling too wet or too sticky, and I like it, I think, as much as Elnet. And Elnet is one that a lot of girls who do vintage hairstyles really loves because it's one that's been used for years to kind of be a good brushable hold hairspray. This is really, really good. So I would never splurge for Elnet again when I can get this. And Elnet's a drugstore hairspray, but it typically costs about $12 to $14. So this is a really, really good hairspray for the money. And yeah, definitely give it a try. If it holds my hair somewhat in a humid, hot Memphis day, on a humid, hot Memphis day, then it will definitely probably hold your hair well if you live on the West Coast or somewhere that has a little less humidity. So yeah, VO5 Hairspray Brush Out, which I think is kind of an odd name, but that's what it's called. Second great drugstore product for the summer. I love this shampoo. This is the Weightless Hydration Shampoo by Organics. Actually, I don't think it's called Organics. I think it's just called OGX now. Didn't this used to be called Organics? Anyway, it's that one shampoo that's supposed to be a sulfate-free, but it's called Weightless Hydration, and it's coconut water shampoo. This one has been really, really nice and replenishing, and it is definitely not my favorite. No, this does have sulfates in it, so if you're a sulfate-free person like I typically am, then you may not want to go for this, but I was just needing something in a pinch, and I liked the idea of the coconut water hydration, and I do think that it is very hydrating without weighing my hair down. My favorite shampoo of all time is the Strivectin shampoo for color treated hair. It's wonderful stuff, but unfortunately it's like $25 a bottle, so it's not something I'm really willing to invest in yet. This one is a really good drugstore shampoo, and I feel like that it does what it says it's going to do, and it supposedly also restores electrolytes, so that's kind of nice. But I didn't buy the conditioner that goes with it. I don't know if the conditioner is, I'm still using the L'Oreal Everstrong sulfate-free conditioner, but I'll give you an update if I do try the conditioner. For my kids' hair, I have been using for a while now the Eco Professional Styling Gel with argan oil. This is typically found in the ethnic section of the grocery store, and it's really dirt cheap. It's like less than $3 for this large container. This is the gel that I use every single day on my boys' hair, and it's one that I feel like it has a similar hold and look to a pomade or a ringing gel, sort of like Layrite, as far as the way the finished hairstyle looks. It's of course not as good, but it is definitely something that works really well for just like an everyday purpose. You run this through, it's alcohol free, so it doesn't flake or anything, and you run your hands, I would say get the hair a little bit damp, and then run your hands through it, and then run just a little gel through it and run it through with a comb. And I feel like it gives them a really nice hold to their hair without giving them a kind of a hard, I mean it's a little hard, but it's not flaky like a typical gel would be. So this is a really good alternative to just a standard like dippity-doo style gel, because it has argan oil in it, so it's a little more flexible. And it is supposedly for all hair types. It has no flake, and it's anti-itch. I haven't noticed that my kid's scalp is irritated by it, and they do have a very sensitive scalp, so I do think that that is important. But I do think it's much better than any other gel that I've tried. And I actually tried this in a different, I think it was an olive oil version of this, and I did not like it nearly as well. So there's something different about this one that I feel like makes it look a little bit more flexible, a little more pliant. So the next thing on my list here, we're moving from hair stuff to face stuff. This mask is an excellent mask for summertime. This is the Oxygen Infusing Smoothing Mask by Strivectin. Strivectin is a brand that I don't typically use a lot of, because I think that it strikes me as a very like chemical-based brand, and I know it probably does have quite a few chemicals in it because it's kind of developed in a lab, but it has all of these anti-aging properties. And so anyway, I'm not against it. I just tend to gravitate towards Clarins or plant-based products right now. Anyway, this one is the Strivectin Oxygen Infusing Smoothing Mask. This is really great for summertime because I love how fresh it makes your skin feel. You put this on in a thin layer all over your kind of dampened, not really damp, but maybe blotted with a towel after washing, and it starts to fizz and suds up on your skin and becomes this like mask of white foam. It's just fun. It's really fun, and I don't think necessarily that it does more than, for instance, my Glam Glow mask that I have, but I really, really love the way it feels, and I love the way my skin feels afterwards. It just feels very fresh and very soothed, and so I think that it's just a really, really great mask. And for some reason, summertime seems to be the best time for it, because my skin does tend to want more rejuvenation in the summertime. Maybe it's because I don't moisturize as freely as I do in the winter, but I really, really love the refreshing feeling of this mask. It's quite incredible. The next thing I wanted to share, I think I've shared this in a video before, but I do use it all the time, so I thought I'd share it again. This is like my second bottle of this. This is the Santal Facial Treatment Oil from Clarins. There's only a couple of Clarins products in this list, but I wanted to make sure, because I use it almost predominantly Clarins in my skincare, so I can't like skip it. This is the Santal Face Treatment Oil, and it's 100% pure plant extracts. I believe this is the exact same formula that they've had on this particular product since the 1950s. However, it is still absolutely wonderful, and the great thing about this is for dry skin. There's also one for oily skin and one for dehydrated skin. This one doesn't have a super strong like lingering smell like the one for dehydrated skin, which has got blue orchid extract in it, and I think that one tends to be a little too strong smelling. It just kind of smells a little old lady to me. This one though I love. I don't mind the smell, and I think that my skin feels so amazing after I use it. I tend to use it instead of a serum or a moisturizer one night a week. So once a week I'll exfoliate my skin and then use this instead of a serum or moisturizer. I just let it kind of sit all night long, and I love the way my face feels the next day. I still like to use my serums and anti-aging moisturizers and all of that good stuff, but this is such a great treat once a week. And if I ever feel like my skin's chapped, like if I've been out in the cold wind in the wintertime, this is an excellent thing for that. Speaking of which, there's a repair one of these that also is excellent for chapped or sunburned skin, but I'm going to share the booster, the energy booster. This is another Clarins product, and it's brand new. these are called boosters. You use them along with your serum, along with your moisturizer. You can use it with your foundation. You can pretty much mix it with anything. I think you can probably mix it with eye cream, but they probably wouldn't recommend that. But they have 3 different ones. There's one for detox, one for repair, and one for energy. This is the energy one, and it's got ginseng as its principal active ingredient. I don't know that these are going to have definite visible payoff. That's why I think they're a little bit more difficult of a sell when it comes, because I run the Clarins counter at work, and this is one of the things they're really promoting right now, but it's kind of hard to tell someone you need this when you're not really going to see the benefits. It's really about the feel. This has the ginseng in it, and you put about 3 to 5 drops, tap it into your moisturizer, and then you just mix it together and pat it onto your skin. And I just feel like my skin feels more awake, and I know that that might be just the power of suggestion, but I feel like it does, so I like it, and I'm going to keep using it. And I love the detox one. It's in the green bottle. It has green coffee in it, which is known to detoxify and to be a natural antioxidant, and it smells really great. This one doesn't really have a smell. Anything in Clarins that has a smell is because the ingredients actually have a smell. It's usually because the plants have a smell, so they don't put any perfumes or anything in there. And this is a pure example of that because it does not smell like anything at all. My last Clarins product and my only makeup product that I'm featuring this month is the Mascara Supra Volume in black, intense black. This is the new mascara from Clarins. They sent me this gratis product for me to try, and I'm in love with it. I think it is a wonderful mascara. If you're somebody who likes the Sumptuous Extreme from Estee Lauder, this is another really, really great mascara that's comparable to that. It's very black, it's just got the fiber bristles, and it's a nice sized brush, but not too big. You can still use it on your bottom lashes. I used it on my bottom lashes today, and I love this mascara. I think it's great. I'm gonna be sad when I'm out of it. I'm gonna have to get me some more. But it's wonderful, and it's not too wet, not too dry. It's kind of the perfect consistency. There's another mascara from Clarins called the Wonder Lash or something like that. I sell it and I don't even know. It's called... I'll put it in text form down here because it's completely slipped my mind, but it's a little too wet. This one's not. This one's perfect for volume, so I love this one. Next, we have my fragrance of the summer. I shared this in my fragrance collection video, but this is my favorite fragrance for now. This is the Eau de Toilette of the Issey Miyake. L'Eau d'Issey is what it is actually called. I love the bottle. But this is a wonderful summer fragrance. This is one that I tend to just spray very sparingly because it is a very powerful fragrance. Even if it's an eau de toilette, it's very long lasting. And it's beautiful. It smells so good on. It smells like the ocean. I think I said this in my fragrance video. But it's a perfect summer fragrance. It reminds me of a seaside, so it's just amazing for summer. And like I said, as you get hot throughout the day, I feel like it's one of those ones that just carries over, and it doesn't get stronger, but it stays with you, and it's wonderful. People will always stop me and ask me what I'm wearing when I'm wearing this one. My other favorite thing this summer is my Boda Box. I love the Boda Box. I have recently started to drink a little more red wine. I like to have it in the evening, or my favorite time to drink red wine is about 5 p.m. That's like my magic hour. I like to drink red wine before dinner, and sometimes with dinner, but not after dinner because it tends to make it difficult for me to go to sleep. I'm not sure why. I think it's because it kind of turns to sugar in your system. That's what I've heard anyway. I don't know how true that is. But this is the 3-liter box, and it's like 18 bucks, and it's such a good buy. I'm the only one who drinks it, so I get to have this, and I buy one of these a month and have like 1 glass a night, and I love it. Everything in moderation, right? This is the best wine, though, and the guy at the liquor store told me that it is the best quality wine that they carry at this price point. Even the bottles that are smaller that are the same price, he said he feels like this is a better quality wine. And there's only a couple of ones that I really like because I'm a red wine drinker. I don't really care for white wine. I don't like sweet wine. So if that's kind of lets you know where I'm coming from. But I love a red wine that's dry but still has a nice, strong, like floral fragrance or a floral palette that's not really vinegary. I can't stand that. And I have not had a bottled wine at this price point even a smaller bottle at this price point. I've not had one that I enjoy as much as this. This is as good to me as a lot of expensive wines. And I think it's the organic, you know, the brown paper box that kind of helps keep everything nice and fresh. And I always like, this one's open because I pull it out and squeeze the bag out when I'm done because I have to get all of it. But anyway, this is the Cabernet Sauvignon. It's my second favorite. My favorite is the Nighthawk Black. Nighthawk Black is so delicious. It's jammy and rich and wonderful and full fragrance, and it's so good. So try that. If you like dry red wine, you will love the Nighthawk Black. The Malbec used to be my favorite, but the last couple of boxes I've gotten of the Malbec, I don't know if they've changed their formula to it or not, but it's not my favorite anymore. This one is better than the Malbec to me, but not as good as the Nighthawk Black. So, what a box. Okay, so let's see, favorites, music. I have been listening a lot to more country influence type stuff this summer. I usually like rock and roll in the summer. I like to drive around and listen to rock and roll, but I do feel like that this year I've been a little bit more into sort of country type stuff, country influence, sort of Americana style stuff, I guess they call it. A few different things right now, but it's definitely more modern. It's modern, but it has more of a traditional sound to it. I adore Sturgill Simpson. I've loved him forever and ever and ever since I've heard of him. But I love the new album called A Sailor's Guide to Earth because it's definitely like one solid story. It's sort of a message to his newborn son. So it's sort of like this one solid story throughout with a bunch of different styles of music on it. And I love this album so much. I've been listening to it on repeat. My favorite song on the album is O Sarah, but there is the opening track, Welcome to Earth Pollywog, I think is what it's called, is about his welcoming his son, and it's so beautiful. So I'm a big fan of his. We went and saw him recently at the Orpheum just last week, so it's still fresh in my mind. One of the best performances I've ever seen. I'm also really attached to Jason Isbell this summer. I love his album Something More Than Free. I think it's one of the best albums I've ever heard in my life, and I feel like he is the quintessential songwriter of my generation. There's very few artists who have captured me like he has with his lyric ability and his singing and just the melody of his songs. There's a song called Children of Children. I'll post a link to it below because I want y'all to hear that song. It's so good. It just makes me ache. It's so pretty. So yeah, I've been listening to a little bit more mild stuff this year, and I'm enjoying it a lot. That's my favorite 2 albums of the summer that I can think of right now. I feel like this summer is all about Netflix's Netflix original series called Stranger Things, which I'm sure all of you have heard of by now. If you have not watched that show, get on the ball and go see it. If you have any affection for the 1980s, if you loved E.T., if you love just the feel of 1980s films, 1980s sci-fi, it is quintessential. You must see it. It's a wonderful show. The performances are all great. The writing is great. The story is great. Will keep you going throughout. I think there's 8 episodes. I think every episode gets better. And we have been through the entire thing twice with our kids the second time. So I want to watch it again. I absolutely love it. So I'm hoping they're supposed to bring it back for a second season, but I'm almost afraid for them to because I feel like it sits so perfectly by itself, and I'd almost hate to see it go a little overstay its welcome, but I don't need to assume that. It's just because I love it so much I feel that way. So if you haven't watched Stranger Things yet, you do need to get started and watch that. Movies this summer, I haven't really seen anything that has really stuck with me. I liked the Civil War Marvel movie. It was good. Wasn't great. Yep. Nothing else I can think of. Finding Dory was adorable. She's so cute. But that's all for the summer. This was a long video. Let me know if you have any questions or any requests for future hairstyles, any questions about the products featured in this video or the movies or the music, and I'll get back with you soon. I'll see you next week. Bye.